We always get a very energetic but distracted Stugotz this week because it's Masters Week and he comes in doing finger guns and saying, can you feel it, Dan? But we can get and milk some good material out of that because his energy, his just general caring about sports is larger this week than it usually is. And so he asked coming in today, and I asked Juju to put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, did Rick Pitino immediately emerge from his coffin this morning and have his agent call Kentucky at Le Batard Show? Because it is rare what happened overnight, something that no one saw coming.
Well, I did. I mean, I tried to tell you back in February. You weren't listening to me. I told you, listen, Dan, you have no idea what's going on in the Bluegrass State. Kentucky fans never happy with Calipari. Tried to tell you.
Okay, what you tried to tell me is that they were going to fire him. What you did not tell me is that he's got a billionaire friend in Arkansas who would make him the Arkansas coach for 5 years because he's the head of the Tyson food chain, and Calipari out of nowhere, goes from Kentucky to Arkansas and avoids whatever it is that was coming his way at Kentucky. And if you're Calipari, like Nick Saban in Alabama, I do understand how you'd get tired of what those people's expectations are. And you're like, oh, you don't like me here? All right, I'll take it someplace else where they will like that I'll always make my team top 20 and not expect it to be number one. What was that moaning sound you made, Bill?
Well, this is a classic I'm breaking up with you before you break up with me situation. You know, everybody knew that was ending. Stugotz tried to tell us. He tried to tell us. No one wanted to listen, and then it started playing out the way it played out, and he was the one. He was the breaker-upper, not the breaker-uppy.
Okay, but 5 years from your billionaire friend who's a booster at Arkansas means that you're breaking up and ending up in a better position for yourself where you're going to be more appreciated in the relationship.
You don't break up with someone to date an ugly person. Come on, get out of here. That's crazy.
Unless you have somewhere, somewhere better to go, Dan. Everyone knows that.
That's why it's called break up, not break down, Dan.
It is a step down, though. Is it not? In jobs?
Yes. But maybe it won't be because he's there and he makes the matter by himself. Today is a super rare day. In fact, I wouldn't just say it's super rare. I would say it's unprecedented in the history of college basketball. Normally, today, many shows, probably not this one, but many shows would begin with previewing that the championship of men's basketball is being played tonight. But that is not where today will begin, and it represents a seismic shift in the viewing habits of college basketball that the championship decided yesterday with the women had more storyline narratives that were interesting and connect with audience than what it is that the men are doing tonight, even though the men have the most giant dude in the game, college basketball player of the year. Edie is a giant person who makes the game unpleasant to watch.
Going against a team that is going for back-to-back NCAA championships.
Correct, but you had Caitlin Clark yesterday playing against undefeated South Carolina, and while the result wasn't surprising, I thought Caitlin Clark would be a bigger underdog than she was in that game. The result was sort of unsatisfying, but it does represent a change, Stugotz, that I did not see coming with the ratings on Saturday night, where everybody on Sunday somehow, Dan Orlovsky, everybody wanted to be a referee from Saturday night till Sunday morning on a single call in a women's basketball game that was being watched by 15 million people, which puts it at a number, Stugotz. And I don't know what the number was going to be for yesterday's game, but I'm guessing it's going to be a football number. It's Sunday at 3 o'clock. And I don't know how many of us had the idea that that number, a football number, could be done at 3 o'clock on a Sunday by anything happening in women's basketball, even as much as a year ago. But the build-up to this has been fascinating to watch. And I know some people like Jay Williams will say that Caitlin Clark will not be remembered as the greatest of all time because she did not win a championship. She was overmatched in that basketball game by a team that hasn't lost in a couple of years.
I hate to do this, Dan, because you just brought up a few good points that we need to talk about, but I want to take this back really quick to the video of Stugotz predicting the Coach Cal thing because I want to point out one thing specifically. So let's play this video first.
No fan base goes from wanting to fire their coach to booking their trip to the Final Four on a game-to-game basis, quite like Kentucky.
That's not true. No, who's firing?
Oh, God.
Who's firing Calipari?
They fire their coach every other day. I mean, are you paying attention to what's going on in the Bluegrass States?
Calipari was number one every year, and they want him to stay number one.
No
and
one
he's
wants
less. He's not. No one wants him. Okay, very good.
That was yesterday. Today's today.
All right.
You are wearing the exact same outfit, Stugotz.
Oh, of course I am. It's my Monday outfit.
Same hat, same sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And Dan is wearing the exact same color, but a different shirt slightly. But you are wearing the exact same outfit.
It's my Mondays.
Is there another point you wanted to make off of that, or you just wanted to point out that he was wearing the same thing, that he was wearing exactly the same clothes? He spent about 4 months here wearing the same clothes. It was about 4 straight months. You can't take a victory lap on that, Stugotz. That's not you trying.
I am.
But I mean, that's not you telling us that he was going to end up at Arkansas.
Well, he didn't know the destination, but he knew the breakup was imminent.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he take a victory lap from that?
Right.
If anyone thinks that Stugotz did that first clip this morning and we're messing with you, you can see the sweat stains on the hat currently that didn't exist back in February.
Thank you.
But like same amount of stubble, weirdly too. Yeah. You must shave on the same day every week.
My Monday stubble. Yep.
Stugotz,
Sunday shave.
Sunday
nights.
Let's get the video real quick. All I think of when I think of Kentucky basketball is I think of Billy Gillispie. He was involved in some sort of controversy at Kentucky. The media was circling all around him, and Billy Gillispie did one of the worst "I've got to pick up a fake phone" calls that I have ever seen in the entirety of my life, where he's pretending as he walks by the media to be on the phone and cannot comment. Cannot comment because is that a flip phone? It's a flip phone he's using. Walking through the rain in Kentucky. Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna call.
No comment. I cannot comment. The result after Stugotz watching the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yesterday's result was unsatisfying because it didn't have as much drama as I would have liked toward the end of the game. When at the end of that game, all it was is Caitlin Clark's going to shoot from wherever it is that she can the last few minutes of the game, and it's all falling apart, and there's a desperation, and she's just going to try and make a 3 from distance, and now it's a double-digit lead, and South Carolina's getting all the offensive rebounds.
It was fairly obvious, even while Iowa got out to a quick start and they had a lead, that South Carolina was the better team. They were a deeper team, a taller team, a better rebounding team. They were just a better team.
Yeah, it's so rare to go undefeated for an entire season and win the championship. And South Carolina came so close to it last year until they lost to Iowa in the Final Four. But this year they were able to pull off the perfect season. And their bench players had 37 points in the championship game. And Iowa's bench players had 0. And when you can put in a 8 or 9 player rotation and not have your players getting tired or not have to worry about foul trouble for your players because you have someone that is an incredible player that's just going to come in right behind them. Like, I don't know how you beat that. And Dawn Staley has just done such an incredible job at South Carolina building up that program and creating a culture where players want to come there and play for her, and she's going to coach them really hard, and she's going to promise her team she'll win them a championship, and now she's won 3 of them. She didn't get an opportunity to win one in 2020 because of COVID, but they were definitely the favorite that year too. So I think you just have to give Dawn Staley a ton of credit for this team, because not only were her seniors great in that game, but the freshmen made such a big difference, and they're going to be there for probably 3 or 4 years now, and they're just going to be the team to beat as long as Dawn Staley's there.
She does a great job of representing her sport and the emotions of everything after the game for her in classy celebration of Caitlin Clark. Was fun to watch, emotional to watch, but I have one quibble. She says that Clark is one of the GOATs. Pick one. You can only have one GOAT. There's only one. You've got to pick what you got to pick one GOAT. You can't have multiple GOATs. You can't say one of the GOATs. There's one GOAT.
It's a fair point by you.
If you're calling someone one of the GOATs, you're saying that they're not.
Well, that's what she was saying. She's saying that she's great. She did a lot for the game. She is not the greatest player of all time. That's what she was saying.
Correct. It was not an insult. She did not mean it as an insult. It may have been what she was saying because we're doing that to her. She was trying and did a very good job of articulating all of the positive things of grace and in triumph. But my one quibble is pick a side.
Can't greatest be plural also?
Greatest.
I agree that you can be one of the greatest of all time, but if you're going to go with the word GOAT, there can only be one GOAT.
Well, that's a stupid word anyways.
It is stupid. I tweeted yesterday that Don Staley is the GOAT, and UConn fans immediately got upset with me, and I don't care because it's a made-up thing that we say anyways, but Gino was the GOAT. Gino was the GOAT. Don is the GOAT. There's goats. Goats change. You can pass down goatdom to someone else, and then someone else becomes the goat, and you can be, you can coexist as goats together. Yeah.
There can only be one goat, though, at any given time. Dan is right about this. You can't have multiple goats.
Gino can be the GOAT if he wins another championship. He hasn't won one in 8 years, though.
Right.
So he's not the GOAT right now. Don's the GOAT.
You also can't be the greatest of all time until it's all said and done, right? Because the greatest could be coming still.
When all the smoke is cleared?
Right. Unless you're Jordan.
When the dust settles, then you'll know the GOAT.
Right.
When all is said and done, you mean when the apocalypse arrives and there's no more speech?
The eclipse today.
Today.
The world has just become rubble.
The end of time, Dano.
It would be great if the end of time came, right? And the last.
Well, no, that would not be great.
That
Well,
would not
no.
be great.
But then we got to decide.
Well, let
who
me
the
hear
GOAT
it out.
was.
Yeah, let's go down this path, gang.
That's how we spend our final
Exactly
hours.
right. The
want
last
some more time.
hour is us saying, okay, sports are done.
This
now
is the
we can
end.
actually. This is the end.
Right.
There's no need to panic. There's nothing we can do here to solve it. We're all gonna die.
If the world ended today.
Exactly right.
Right.
The world's ending in an hour. Let's sit. Let's enjoy and have some healthy sports discourse with the last hour of time we have and decide the greatest of all time at everything. And this is actually it. This is where this ends.
Have you guys seen the preview for that horrifying Civil War movie that's coming out? I think in that movie they
No.
do this. Once they realize it's all over, they're like, before we kill everyone, let's really debate here. Who is the GOAT in basketball?
Gonna get right at it here with JJ Reddick. No pleasantries. He is no longer an up-and-comer in the business. He is doing giant things in the media, Stugotz. I have told you. I wonder what his opinion is on what I'm about to say here. I have said a couple of times in the last month, JJ, that you're going to make more money in your media career than you did in your playing career. Am I wrong?
Huh.
That's an interesting take. Hadn't really thought about that. I don't know, Dan. I don't know.
How much money's in your bank account right now?
Tell us.
That is
How
not,
rich are you?
That is not what I was asking him. I am just saying he's going to have 20, 25 years to do this, and if he continues conquering at the rate that he's doing it, he's made some very interesting and good choices on what it is that he wants to do. So let me talk to you a little bit about the options you had. Did you turn down an NBA head coaching job?
Not a head coaching job, no. I interviewed last year for the Raptors head coaching job. I was not offered the opportunity to coach that franchise. There was a number of assistant coaching opportunities, particularly my first sort of year and a half of retirement that were presented to me. Had conversations with different head coaches about doing that sort of thing. Life is about timing. That's why, Dan, to answer your question, I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. I'm motivated by the enjoyment and fulfillment of doing something. So for me, I really wanted to call games, and once I started calling games, I said, "Oh, I really like this. I would love to call the finals someday." Did not think it would happen in such a short amount of time, and obviously there was a bunch of circumstances that led to getting bumped to the A team with Mike and Doris. But I get to call the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals this year. Like, that's my motivation. Same thing as a player. Like, I wanted to be really good I wanted to be great at my craft. I probably settled on really good. I didn't get to quite to great. So it's the same thing here. I want to be great at what I do. I want to enjoy it, and I want to do it with people that I enjoy working with. And so far, it's been wonderful.
he made over $116 million in his NBA
A lot of pocket
career.
watchers over at the Dan Le Batard Show. A lot of pocket watchers.
No, I don't.
Well, we
blame
don't
you.
have any,
I
so.
don't blame you for not caring. You made 116
for
already.
yourself.
I mean,
I am interested in the choices that you're making, though, because you have all of them available to you. What is the most fun?
Oh, great question. I would honestly say this. Everything I get to do, I enjoy. There were some things early on, my first year, I signed a 1-year deal. There were some things that I can't say I enjoyed it. I did it because I was contracted to do it. But there were some things like I've been on NBA Today in person, I think 3 times total. Twice my first year in LA, once this year in Vegas for the in-season tournament. I really enjoyed that. When I did NBA Today from the New York studio, you're in a closet for an hour with a camera on you and a screen in front of you. And it's a very small room, and you just sit in there with no cell service, and you don't get more than 10 to 15 seconds at a time. And I'm sitting over there and I'm like, I'm jealous of the people that are in studio getting to do this, right? So everything I've chosen to do at this point, whether that's been First Take, the podcast, the new podcast, Mind the Game with LeBron, the DraftKings segments that we do on our YouTube channel, and obviously calling games, I enjoy all of it. I would say the best thing for me, truthfully, is calling games. There's nothing like it because you do get that closeness to the game, and you also get a little bit of that performance anxiety that you had as a player. Right before you do the live intro, and then right before as they're doing the national anthem and the starting lineup, and the producers in your ear, 90 to tease, whatever it may be. That feeling is something that is hard to replicate and probably isn't at the same level as when I played basketball, but I feel that performance anxiety when I get to call a game, and that's really fun.
Whenever I talk to people who were lopsided because they obsessively did something like Kraft being great at three-pointers, and they lose their identity because they have to grieve or mourn retirement and the fact that they're burying who they used to be. Almost every athlete I've ever encountered, and some are better equipped than others, fails with that transition initially just because it's so hard. You don't seem to have, but did you struggle with retirement?
Dan, I know you like humor on your show, but if you'll bear with me, I'd like to tell a brief story. So going into my last season, unfortunately, coincided with the COVID year. So I spent 6 weeks in the bubble. My son was starting kindergarten in New York, and I knew that entire fall that this was going to be my last year. And we play a game in Tampa, first game of the season, December 23rd. I play well. We go to Miami for our Christmas Day. We got the noon Christmas Day game. And my wife sends me a video that morning. I wake up to a video of Kai, my youngest, running down the stairs to the Christmas tree. And it was at that moment that I let go. I like Doc Rivers always talks about, like, this internal battle that we face as players within a game. And we certainly face that a little bit as we get towards the end of our career. You can't let go of the rope. You're in this tug of war. You can't let go. And at that moment, I let go. So I really struggled that entire season. My parents called me on New Year's. They said that we've watched the last 4 or 5 games. You don't look like yourself. I wept to my mother. I just want to go home. She said to me, well, why can't you? And I said, because I can't let go. And it's exactly what you're talking about. I didn't want to let go of that part of my ego. I didn't want to let go of that part of my identity. And that entire season, Dan, I can remember games from high school. I can remember games from college. I can remember a random Wednesday night in Washington when I played for Orlando. I don't remember anything that last year. If you said to me, you played the Chicago Bulls when you played for the Pelicans your last season, what happened in that game? Did I play the Chicago Bulls? I don't remember. I don't know who I played that year. I just completely zoned out. And it took a couple months with my performance coach / therapist to get to the point where I could let go of that part of me. It was the most confusing and scary thing. You brought up the word death, and I think any person that has competed in athletics, whether it's been high school, college, professional sports, Olympic sports, when you get to that moment, it is like a death, and it is a grieving process. And I was very fortunate. I would say I was fortunate and lucky in some ways, just due to timing, because I was one of the first guys that had started this player podcast revolution. I had a podcast. I was already going to be doing that podcast. I had 1 year left on my deal with Cadence at the time. And I got asked by Dave Roberts and my agent. They really pitched me hard on doing a year contract with ESPN. It gave me something to do. It gave me a sense of purpose beyond just being it. I remember there were days that first year where I wasn't very busy with ESPN yet, and I was only doing one podcast a week, and I'd have like a Thursday, Friday, and my kids are in school, and my wife's doing all the stuff that my wife does during the daytime. I'm sitting there at home. It's 12 degrees outside in New York City. What am I doing? Right? So this part of the athlete life cycle is incredibly difficult. And I would pose this to anyone who has played any level of sport or athletic. When it ended for you, were you sad? Did you grieve? Was it a hard transition? When you got done with your last high school event or your last college event, or maybe you played overseas, or maybe you played on the Corn Ferry Tour for a couple years, was that a difficult transition? And I would say the vast majority of people would say yes. Now imagine dedicating your life, 30 years of my life, to one thing. LeBron talked about it on Mind the Game. You have to sacrifice loved ones. It was such a selfish pursuit, and I was all invested at all times. And then that ends. Of course it's difficult. And it was very difficult for me, despite the fact that I had other stuff going on.
He mentioned Mind the Game, new episodes every Wednesday on YouTube and wherever it is you get your podcasts. What did your parents see?
What did my parents see?
Those last few games, or those games where they could tell watching you on television that, what are you?
The parents know the look.
Well, but you're what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are they noticing?
You know what's funny? They weren't the only ones that saw it. I took great pride in a player, and when I ask coaches or I ask GMs about certain guys, one of the things I always want to know is, are they the same person every day? Do they come to the facility and they say hi to people? Do they talk to the trainers? Do they interact with the assistant coaches? Are they in the weight room talking to their teammates, talking to the performance staff? When they get to the arena, are they saying hi to the arena people? Are they saying hello to the PA announcer? Are they going over and saying hi to Reggie Miller if it's a TNT game? Are they the same person every day? I stopped being that person. And it was clear in my body language. It was clear in my facial expressions. And they weren't the only ones. Josh Tiven, playing the Boston Celtics that year, Josh Tiven came up to me before a game, and he said to me, "Hey, man, you don't look like yourself. Is everything okay?" And I didn't know how to respond to that. I was 9 minutes away from competition. And so I went back in the locker room and cried a little bit. I come back out. I was a little ornery that day. And Josh gave me a technical for yapping or something, because I thought Aaron Nesmith fouled me. And then the very next possession, I spun the ball a little too aggressively at him, and he tossed me out. And it's a very infamous moment in my career where I just, I got thrown out for tossing the ball back to the referee. There's a backstory to why I threw the ball. I didn't actually mean to throw the ball at him. I thought the guy closest to the scorer's table was making the call to the scorer's table. It actually ended up being Josh, who was down there, and I was trying to spin it around Tristan. I put a little too much English on it. Him and I have worked it out, but that's what I mean by what my parents saw and what Josh saw as well. And I'm sure, Darnell, our assistant coach in New Orleans, he would talk to me at, pregame shoot around or at walk through in the morning. He's like, what the hell is going on with you, man? This wasn't the guy that was here last year. This is hard, man. It was hard.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations. Excuse me. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste. Just 96 calories. Available for delivery. I got rid of it, Roy. I think. I did
It's
it.
still
Probably
there.
not.
You haven't gotten rid of it. It's still there. We can hear
Now
it.
I did. It's gone. Dan, over 20 years of doing this show with you, it's the only thing I've been consistent about. That this week is the best week on the sports calendar. Can you smell it, Dan? Spring is in the air. Magnolia Lane, Amen Corner, Butler Cabin, and of course, the azaleas. Ah, the azaleas. The sights, the sounds. Hello, friends. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, Masters Week is back. You excited? Little flyer on Tiger? Huh?
Chris Cody says he's betting Tiger at 100 to 1.
I mean, I bet him every week to begin with, and now you get a little juice with him. I mean, geez.
Who you taking?
I don't care.
Speaking of back, Razorbacks. How about that?
Yeah, they are.
UConn, Purdue, rare game where whoever wins, their coach goes to Kentucky. Norby Williamson out at ESPN. Does that mean I can go back now? Huh? Dan, you know what the N in Norby stands for? Huh.
Whoa.
No?
Not a moment too soon for me. Not a moment too soon.
That was a question. I had a question.
You did ask it.
Yeah, he
I-
asked
it
the
was-
question
It was
there.
a question.
More like a reckless speculation.
I was asking a question.
Here's the problem with the foul call at the end of the UConn-Iowa game. It was a foul. An obvious foul. Everyone stop complaining. Nika Mule, defensive stopper. Headline, Tiger Woods has stopped having sex to prepare for the Masters. Tiger, got news for you. Hasn't helped my game. Little flyer? Huh?
No.
Probably not the day to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this.
You are going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Dan, you know what this C in Caitlin Clark stands for?
Oh, no.
Not championships. I definitely don't want to do this. I'm not doing this.
You're going to do it.
Dan, you know what the C in Clark stands for?
Not clutch.
Chris Paul.
Oh, wow.
CP3. No way. Not doing this today. I'm not doing this. This is where I draw the line. Not doing it.
Wow, this is equality.
Top 5 women's basketball players of all time. OLI. Caitlin Clark.
Whoa. Whoa.
Number 5, Shamika Holtzclaw. Number 4, Brittany Griner. Number 3, Diana Taurasi. Thank you. Number 2, Cheryl Miller. And number 1, Brianna Stewart. Stewie.
No Candace Parker.
Sorry. Only 5.
It's his list.
Yeah.
Not even an OLI, though.
Caitlin.
Maya Moore.
Ooh, Maya Moore. Dan, you're Kentucky. Coach K calls. What do you do? What do you do?
Why would Coach K be calling?
Why wouldn't he call?
Because he's retired. Because he's done.
You know what the K in Coach K stands for, Dano?
Kentucky.
Hey.
I thought you were going to go call there.
I should have. Damn it. Seeing Coach. What do you do? Anthony Rendon batting .094.
94.
I like to go .094.
Annie likes to approach it as if there's a giant speed bump before it.
The A in Anthony Rendon stands for automatic outs. You're right. Speed bump. Total speed bump. For $35 million a year, Rendon went 278 days between hits. For context, he had a teammate this year that got drafted, got promoted to single A, double A, then the majors, between hits. $35 million.
My late grandfather and his late brother used to say more than any other words in their life in Spanish, that guy is an out dressed as a baseball player. That's the phrase they most use.
A couple of late guys cutting it up.
Couple of dead guys. A couple of dead guys cutting it up. Not a couple of late guys cutting it up.
Well, you said the late.
I know. But
I didn't want,
it doesn't mean that they were
I don't want to be
tardy.
too heavy-handed. I
Yes,
didn't know if you were over it
yes.
yet.
So it's like God disguised as Michael Jordan, but it's like this guy is disguised as an out.
That's right.
Same-
No, an out
Oh.
that's dressed as a baseball player. There's no disguise involved. It's just
Is an out.
It's just an out, and it's dressed as a baseball player.
Zach Edey, after 10 years of bully ball at Purdue, it's about time you've had to pick on someone your own size. Almost.
There's no one his size.
Donovan Klingon. Kling Kong. I am not staying up for this game. LeBron James commenting on the foul at the end of the Iowa-UConn game. All of a sudden, everyone's got an opinion on women's college basketball. Jesus, LeBron. You know what the J in LeBron James stands for, Dan?
I do not.
Johnny come lately. Where's he been?
I guess it would be a James come lately in his case.
Maybe.
wouldn't
New York Knicks, I'm begging you. Please get him.
it? Now what? What are you doing? You were actively not wanting him a month
Treat
ago.
him as the number one overall pick. Do whatever you have to do to get Bronny. He gets you LeBron. The Knicks, Dan, are a Bronny away. He would fit in nicely there.
Your words mean nothing.
I
Like
know.
a month
I
ago,
know.
you
You're
just
right.
you are. I was looking at you a month ago.
Listen,
What do you
I'm not
mean
gonna-
you don't want LeBron James?
You're
you were
acting
saying
like I'm
you do-
arguing with
Well, the
you.
Knicks were winning games
They
back
do
then.
mean
I
nothing.
don't.
They lost Randall. Not arguing with you. You said my words mean nothing. I agree with you.
Plus a 2-for-1. You got Bronny also. I mean, why not?
Right. Upside. Katie Martin doesn't get enough credit. She's a good player. Not enough credit.
I think it's Kate.
No one's talking about her. That's why. That's why I don't know, because no one's talking about her. Katie, how would I know? No one says her name, and her friends call her Katie.
But in terms of her not getting credit, what's worse, her not getting credit, or you demanding for credit
If
and
someone
not
gave her credit,
knowing
I would know her name.
name?
I mean-
yeah,
not on me. It's on Ruco.
yeah, of course.
Cindy Afalter, also not enough credit.
Agreed. Faulty.
It's unbelievable.
Her name's Sydney. I said the wrong name.
Hey. It's on Ruco. Lisa Blooder?
That's the
I'm
coach.
asking.
That's the
I was
Iowa
What are you
asking.
doing? What are you doing?
Well, she said Kate Martin was the glue to the Iowa basketball team. Glue girl? How do we handle this stuff?
What stuff?
Johnny come lately over
Saying
here.
girl?
What stuff?
I don't know.
How do we handle what? What's the
Anything.
confusing stuff talking
It's
about?
on Ruco. I mean,
Okay, it's all on Ruco.
That we can agree on.
Masters Week, Dana. Eclipse. Eclipse. Spencer Strider, out for the year. Shane Bieber, out for the year. In 2020, Steven Strasburg signed a 7-year, $245 million contract. Since he signed that contract, he started 8 games, went 1-4 with a 9.62 ERA. You sign a pitcher to a long-term big contract, you get what you deserve. Biebs. If you combine the Mets and the Marlins, they would still get swept by the Dodgers. Chauncey Billups. Inducted into basketball's Hall of Fame, Dan. Mr. Big Shot.
Inducted.
Speed bump.
Eclipse.
Masters Week. Eclipse. Ruka. If it was up to Knick fans, Jalen Brunson would get a statue outside of Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. He is good, man. Anyway.
Yes.
He's really good.
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
expected him to be this good. Nobody.
I know.
Nobody.
That's true.
Crazy. He doesn't do it often, but when Giancarlo Stanton makes contact with a baseball, I feel bad for the baseball. Taking a flyer. Tiger Woods to win the Masters at plus $13,000. I love a good flyer. In honor of Masters Week, top 5 people in sports and entertainment that connote the Masters. It's a good one, Dan. OLI. JJ Putz. Josh Birdie. Number 5. Anyone with the last name Butler. Anyone. Brent.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Did you just make it Brent Butler or Brett?
Well, there was a Brent and a Brett.
There was?
A lot of people don't know this, okay? But there was a Brent Butler and a Brett Butler.
Who is Brent Butler?
Look it up.
Okay,
Oh,
there it is.
crying out loud.
There's
He's
the
a
move.
musical artist
There's
named
the
Brent
move.
Butler.
Thank you.
Brent Butler played for 3 seasons between 2001 and 2003 for the Colorado Rockies.
He was talking about the leadoff man
He
for the
obviously
Braves
was not
in the
talking
about
this
90s.
person.
He's not talking about the comedian Brent Butler.
Why didn't you just pick someone?
Number 4,
Because he's lazy.
Is it
Master P.
Josh Birdie or John Birdie?
Look it up. Number 3, Ben Coates. You like that one?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Great tight end. Number 2, Iggy Azalea. And number 1, Amen Thompson.
It's not
Here come the
It's
Royals.
not called the green coat. I hated that list.
Wow.
It is called the green coat.
Called the green jacket.
It doesn't. Bubba Watson said he had 2 green coats. He told me that. He's won 2 of them. He said green coat.
Dan has a couple green coats too. Not the same as the jacket.
Couple of green coats, cutting it up.
What he actually told us is that they only get one.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get another one if you win another Masters. It's bull- yeah, it is.
It's not called a coat.
It just isn't.
And he's not a great tight end.
There was no one named Jacket.
I feel crazy right now. I'm leaving. I have to
Ben
pee.
Coates.
Green coat.
I don't know the difference between a jacket and a coat. Put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show. Roy, what do you
Red coat.
What do you Are you laughing about? I have to leave. I'm going to pee.
coat.
Yes,
I'm
verbatim.
gonna-
Yes.
I'm gonna pee. This Stugotz's brand of laziness is now infecting everyone.
do
She
you
was
mean?
eating during the first hour and she just left during the segment, saying she's got to pee.
The Bucks were 30-13 when they fired Adrian Griffin. The Bucks are 15-17 with Doc Rivers. Grass isn't always greener, Dano.
Man, that is weird to watch them lose to these bad teams. I know the Knicks last night are not a bad team, but the 3 before that are bad, and it's weird to watch them struggle like that.
Can't wait to see who Doc blames after losing in the first round. Doc Rivers' diagnosis is never himself. Purdue and UConn, 9:20 p.m. my ass. No chance in hell I'm staying up to watch that. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
A couple of months ago, Stugotz, I had mentioned when talking about the amount of theft and desperation that are everywhere in our country at the moment, that Amazon packages, I can't imagine how much money is being lost in people simply stealing packages that are being left somewhere. And I saw a video over the weekend that made me laugh at the lengths that someone was going to steal a package, because there are so many Ring cameras and doorbell cameras that are allowed to catch people while they're thieving. And I saw somebody dressed as a garbage bag walk slowly up to the door and basically swallow a package, and I hadn't seen it done that way. It was a level of desperation that I had not considered. It looks very much like a garbage bag. I just don't understand why you wouldn't just wear a mask. I don't understand. Can you guys walk me through what you imagine this thief's game plan was? Was this thief thinking that this thief was, because look, that's the thief,
old moving garbage bag,
the thief walking backwards. It looks very much like a garbage bag. You'd have to look pretty closely to see that there are sneakers involved there.
You don't get height, you don't get weight, you don't get skin color. This is genius. Like, I know, haha, this is funny for the giggles of, a person in a trash bag. This is as good as it gets. It might as well be an invisibility cloak.
I think you're being reckless. I don't know. This isn't just a magic trash bag.
That's right.
Yeah.
If this thief was smarter, they would have walked a couple feet and stayed still for an hour. Walked a couple more feet, stayed still for an hour.
I should have done that.
Walked a couple more feet, stayed still and then if you're watching the security footage, you're like, okay, there's just a bag there. And then
Hold on a second.
Is that bag moving?
They're in slides. You can see toes if you look very closely.
Huh.
Hold on a second. Look at the turn.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for the turn.
Yeah.
You're going to see the tips of toesies here. Hold on.
Oh, they're not
There they
flip-flops.
are.
You're
Right.
right. They're not sneakers.
There's
They're-
some
Chris,
some
is
toes.
this the toe that was under your stall in the bathroom at Oktoberfest?
These are what kind of? Those are like pantuflas. Like, what are those? Those are like fuzzy.
UFOs.
I think
fuzzy
those are like
slippers.
the modern day slip-ons that you see everywhere.
The
Slides.
performance slides.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Got that thick bottom.
Kind of nice.
Pricey. They're honestly pricey slides.
Unless
I
they're
was going to
fake
say
toes.
the same thing. They're like $80 slides.
Foes.
It's not very efficient, though, in terms of trying to move quickly, in and out,
But it is well concealed. We can agree that the concealment is pretty complete, although I would say that those particular pantuflas are indeed incriminating. I don't know if there are many just like that. They seem to be a little different than most I see.
Can't believe you would go through the lengths of covering your entire body and then wear shoes that don't cover your feet like that, especially considering the athletic element of it's way easier to stumble or twist your ankle wearing these sandals, unless it was just a challenge to themselves.
You can't believe that there would be an inefficiency in this plan?
Yeah.
You're
went to all the lengths of
Garbage
doing
bag.
this.
Well thought out.
You're
I don't
stunned that
know.
there would be holes in this particular caper.
Well, there are no holes in the garbage bag,
this,
Dan.
This heist is something that you think is imperfect.
Look, I've never seen it before. This is a creative effort, and if they're going through that effort, I'm surprised it wasn't a foolproof plan.
I just love because, in theory, this person could have just walked like a human, and as long as your upper torso,
what I'm
you're not
saying.
going to see anything. But this person was thinking, if I stay low enough, they're going to think that I'm just a trash can. Like, in this person's mind, he's like, I don't know how I can
Or
get
she.
caught. I don't know how I can get caught here.
Trash bag, and I'm willing to say this, Billy, while it's nice of you to always be that careful, that's a dude. There is no Billy,
I mean,
Billy,
no.
You have
Billy.
no evidence. I mean,
Billy.
There's a level
Billy?
of dumb there.
I like to believe that women can be
Reckless.
criminals too, Dan.
I like to believe
Equality.
that men are the only ones capable of this profound stupidity.
Well, the thing about this is this person knows the person they stole from. Like, I'm going to go out and assume they know the person that they're stealing from because they know that package is getting there that day and what it is. And when you're wearing those shoes, your friend's going to recognize those shoes. This person messed this up.
Yes, we've covered that. However, what I would say to you is I don't understand why you would object to my absolute conviction on that being a man, and then you think it's not reckless to hypothesize that this is clearly a person that knows the person that they're stealing from. Like, which do you think is more accurate, your assumption or my assumption? That it's a man, my assumption that that has to be a man doing that, or your assumption that that has to be a thief who knows who they're stealing from?
I mean, historically, like murders and stuff like that, it's usually someone that you know.
I got a hypothetical.
And a man.
This guy,
That's true.
it's a guy for sure in this hypothetical. This guy ordered something to his house that was inappropriate. He was ashamed to pick it up, so he covered himself, made it seem like it was stolen, but really it's actually him and it's actually his.
He robbed himself?
He robbed himself just so his wife or spouse never realized what that was. Maybe the wife saw the package and was like, "Did you order this?" He's like, "I would never order that. What are you talking about?"
Or it got delivered to the wrong address. So it got delivered to the neighbor, and they were embarrassed about what they ordered.
So this isn't even a crime. This person's just going and picking up what they ordered.
Yeah,
It was
that's
delivered to the
exactly
wrong
right.
house.
Just saving themselves from the shame of everyone knowing what it is that they ordered.
I would argue that women know how to crouch like this from years of crouching over public restroom toilet seats, and therefore I could see an argument.
Wow.
You think that might be a woman?
Never put your butt cheeks on the seat, Dan.
big squatter.
She nailed it.
Speaking of video, I'd like to show people the latest video that incriminates that blight of against my people, Angel Hernandez,
Oh,
the
boy.
worst umpire in the history of basically making judgments. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is Angel Hernandez the worst person in the history of judgment?
It's his job.
It is his job, that's right, to be an arbiter, but the umpires union is very strong. Let's play here some, for the audience, some video of Angel Hernandez being maximum Angel Hernandez. Here is some B-roll of a check swing, like clearly not a swing.
Could not have swung less.
I mean, it would be
Could have
hard.
swung less.
It would
to be
have.
fair.
It would be hard to swing less than that, though. It's not. It's clearly not a. It's not a half swing. It's not even a check swing. Like
Not
that.
a single part of the bat goes over the plate. Yeah. If you can, like, if you're just listening, like, it is just a terrible call.
It's
Trust
a high
me.
and tight pitch. It nearly hits the batter in the hands. And essentially the only movement is as they're going forward in their motion like they normally would to swing is pulling their hands back into their chest.
How does this guy have a job?
The
I
union
wish
is
every
very-
union was as good as the umpires union.
In Angel's defense, do you think, hey, who would swing at that? Like the mere fact that you started a swing,
Yeah.
you know what? You swung. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, it's high and inside, high and tight, Dano.
Is Angel Hernandez
Chin music.
in that? Forgive me for not understanding or seeing in the video. Was Angel Hernandez the first base umpire there who was making the call, or was he from behind the plate so confident that he didn't even have to go to first base to see
Right.
if there was a check swing that was a strike?
He did the point thing, like, nope, that's a swing.
That he was the home plate
Yes,
umpire.
yes.
he didn't even go check with somebody else. He was just had a great deal of conviction about his own.
I got this one, first base coach, umpire.
It is. All right, let me see some more. Do we have some more just Angel Hernandez video being maximum Angel Hernandez? What is this, Billy?
This is Angel getting mad at the Yankees pitcher. So a lot was going on in this game yesterday between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. I believe this was the second incident. So what happened earlier in the game was the Blue Jays pitcher kind of stumbled off of the mound and then decided to throw the pitch anyways. Gleyber Torres was batting, and he was like, whoa, how is that allowed? He didn't, like, re-engage. He didn't look at me. He just threw the ball, and it was clearly a ball, and Angel called it a strike regardless. So on that play, multiple things went wrong. So there was chirping back and forth, and neither team was really all that happy. See, that was the one that I was talking about right there, where the pitcher kind of stumbles off the mound, throws it anyways, and he's like, hey, like, what's going on here? And Angel's like, nope, that's a strike. Aaron Boone went out there. He was arguing, like, how is that allowed? Because I believe it was the third strike, and that ended the at-bat, and he's like, this should not be allowed. Everyone was a little bit unhappy with Angel yesterday. So then their pitcher, Luis Gil of the New York Yankees, he did not engage with the Blue Jays batter, which is what didn't happen with the Blue Jays pitcher. And then Angel decided he wanted to enforce this rule. And then he was telling him, no, you're not allowed to throw the ball anymore. So Angel walked out in between the hitter and the pitcher to make kind of a scene and say, hey, you were wrong about that. And that wasn't even Angel's worst thing of the day yesterday, because Angel had one that went right down the middle that he called the ball.
What do you think his perception of himself is?
Oh, he loves him.
He laughs at
Like, do you
himself.
think he says it's a perception out there? I'm a damn good umpire, or is he just like, I got this whole thing fooled. I got everyone fooled.
I think he's great for baseball.
I did too. I like him.
I love him. I think every team should, when you're blessed with an Angel Hernandez game, you know it's going to be wacky. It's going to be something that you haven't seen in quite a while for your team. Everything is getting so precise. Umpires are getting better and better every year based off the data that we've seen with pitch tracking, even though everybody wants robot umps, except for Angel Hernandez. And it's always going to be ridiculous. You're always going to be, both teams are always going to be upset. It's great for baseball.
The thing is, Angel's really doing a service to baseball if you think about it, because they brought replay into it, and it was a situation where it's like, well, now there's replays here, so you can't really dispute a call. You can't have the manager go out there and argue anything because they'll just go to replay, and then the replay tells you what it is that happened, and that's it. That's the end of the story. But Angel finds a way to kind of get around replay because he'll do this in plays that are not reviewable. So he's brought back the element of the manager coming out and being like, what the hell is going on here?
In full
and arguing
uniform.
with him in full uniform because he does these on all these plays that aren't reviewable.
Do you realize how rare it is to have someone this incompetent never get any consequences?
No.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.